Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through.
They were real tight. One time, me, him, Ashton Kutcher went to a Nets game, and we met Jay-Z there. You know what I'm saying? So they were close.
That actually learns more from their mistakes than from their successes. So all the great things we did in the past, we're gonna do it.
In the window and saw what he thought was spilled wine on the floor. We believe now the evidence will show that was
What makes it work is, I know.
Is it you're so freaking hot?
No, is being able to do scenes with him and being able.
Ashton Kutcher pulled into Diddy scandal late? What's really going on? Looks like the feds are back on the move. And this time, Ashton Kutcher's name is getting dragged straight into the fire. Word on the internet is that Ashton just got picked up by the feds as a co-conspirator in the Diddy investigation. And honestly, that might explain a lot. People been wondering why Ashton basically vanished the second this Diddy case went public. No press, no premieres, no late-night appearances, not even a grainy tabloid pic. Folks are convinced he's already locked up. And now, all his old dirt is coming up like clockwork.
Loss of Brittany Murphy this morning. The 32-year-old actress died on Sunday from what officials say appear to be natural causes. An autopsy is planned reportedly against the wishes of her husband. CBS News correspondent John Blackstone has...
Turns out Ashton's past ain't squeaky clean. Back in high school, this man broke into his own school to cheat and jack money. He got hit with a third-degree burglary charge. That's a whole felony. And fast forward a few years later, he's rubbing shoulders with Diddy at those wild, infamous white parties. The same ones now tied to some disturbing claims. But it doesn't stop there. People are digging up old rumors that Ashton was allegedly messing around with Lindsay Lohan when she was just 16.
Looked in the window and saw what he thought was spilled wine on the floor. We believe now the evidence will show that was actually...
That connection alone got people giving him the serious side eye. The way things are lining up, some folks think Ashton been moving just as shady as Diddy all along. And let's not ignore the tragic death of his ex, Ashley Ellerin. Ashton's version of that night? Been raising red flags for years. Now the bombshell. Reports say Mila Kunis just filed for divorce. Sources claim she's tired of covering for him, and this scandal might have been the one that finally broke her. So the real question is, did the feds really snatch Ashton up? Is he Diddy's secret co-conspirator? And what did Mila find out that made her bounce?
29. I met him on January 11th of 2010. And it was at a PSA shoot at his house for the 2010 census forms. And I have to have him. But I was only 17. And so he was like, get away from me. After I had turned 18, we began dating. I think it was love at first.
Let's get into it. Most folks still don't know Ashton Kutcher was never that clean-cut heartthrob Hollywood tried to sell us. Way before the tech deals, the rom-coms, and the talk show charm, Ashton had a serious criminal past. Back in high school, he wasn't out pulling harmless pranks. He straight up broke into his school to steal cash and cheat on a test. And yeah, he got caught. He was hit with a third-degree burglary charge. Not some slap on the wrist, a real felony. That little stunt wrecked his whole future, lost his college scholarships, messed up his record, and even lost his right to vote. But here's the shady twist. Once Ashton made it big in Hollywood, he dropped cash to get that record wiped clean. Felony gone. Voting rights back. Just like that. Money talks, and when you're rich, the rules bend real easy.
I think is a real hot piece of ass. You dated Mandy Moore.
Yeah.
For
You
Mandy Moore.
What's that like? Jesus.
I love this kid.
You know, you have to stay.
After that, he gave college a shot at the University of Iowa. But he wasn't built for that life. Ashton even admitted he was out here acting reckless, partying like crazy, blasting music, and eventually got kicked out of his own apartment. That's when he bounced to New York. got into modeling, and started brushing shoulders with names like Tom Welling from Smallville. But it gets way darker from there.
Within any 3 blocks of where we're standing, you can go buy somebody. And I was floored by the notion of...
Let's talk about Ashley Ellerin. She was a 22-year-old fashion student and Ashton's girlfriend at the time. The night she was brutally killed, Ashton showed up to her house late. He claimed he looked through the window, saw red stains on the floor, and assumed it was just spilled wine. So he walked away. Just like that. That part of the story still gives people chills.
Probably took her virginity.
Did he? Yeah. Lindsay Lohan? Why are you insulting the man? He was how many years you were going out with Lindsay Lohan?
We were together for like a year and something.
But you don't meet her.
By the next morning, Ashley was found dead inside that same house. And Ashton's story still ain't sitting right with people. Like, who sees red stains on the carpet, assumes it's wine, and just leaves without checking if the person they came to see is okay? That's never made sense. Fans been giving Ashton the side eye ever since, and Ashley ain't the only name tied to him that ended in tragedy.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them.
Let's talk Brittany Murphy. Yup, Ashton was close to her too. Brittany died out of nowhere at just 32. The official cause? Pneumonia and anemia. But just a few months later, her husband, Simon Monjack, died from the exact same thing. Same illness, same house, same mystery.
We're shocked to find out that Ashton and Mila, who kind of have branded themselves as activists for victims, would write letters on behalf of a person who had been convicted.
It didn't take long for folks to start connecting the dots. 2 sudden deaths, way too similar to feel random. And now, people are asking, was Ashton wrapped up in something darker the whole time? Was he in deeper than anyone knew? Because Brittany's case is starting to scream cover-up, especially now that it's public Ashton was co-hosting Diddy's infamous white parties. The ones packed with A-listers, models, and secrets that ran way too deep. And hold up, it gets even crazier.
Times.com is reporting that Ashton Kutcher has resigned from his position as the chairman of the board, effective immediately. He wrote a very lengthy letter.
Brittany ain't the only woman surrounded by mystery. Fans are also bringing up Kim Porter, Diddy's ex and the mother of 3 of his kids. She passed in 2018, and guess what? Her cause of death was also listed as pneumonia. That's 3 deaths, all young, all suspicious, all somehow tied to Diddy. And now Ashton. This ain't just coincidence. It's looking like a pattern. Same vague cause of death. Over and over again.
How are you doing? How's the New Year's going for you?
It's great. Please don't do this.
Sorry. Well, Happy New Year anyways. I'm sorry.
Happy New Year, Steve.
But let's zoom out. Because the bigger picture? It's wild. Ashton ain't just brushing up against this drama. He's smack in the middle of it, playing innocent in public while moving real quiet behind the scenes. Arm in arm with Diddy like it's some secret society. Insiders say Diddy didn't just like Ashton. He trusted him. With business. With secrets. Why? Well, Ashton was tight with Danny Masterson. Yeah, that Danny, the one who's now locked up for some straight-up horrific crimes. Once that link was made, things escalated. Diddy pulled Ashton, Danny, and Wilmer Valderrama into his private circle, a hand-picked squad he allegedly called the New Hollywood Rat Pack. But this wasn't no harmless boys club, sipping cocktails and networking. Nah, they were jet-setting, hosting private parties, and allegedly doing things nobody was supposed to know about. And get this, Ashton's connections ran deep. Word is he's the one who introduced Diddy to Adam Neumann, the scandal-slick CEO of WeWork. You know, the dude who burned billions and ran the company like it was a cult. And guess who quietly benefited from that mess? Yep, Diddy. Now here's the part that'll make your head spin. Once you mix that level of money, power, and tight-lipped loyalty, you're not just building a friend group. You're building a fortress. A place where silence is the price of entry and secrets get locked away forever. And the proof? Try searching up New Hollywood Rat Pack with any of their names. Barely anything shows up. It's like the whole internet got hit with a digital bleach job. Scrubbed clean. Why hide it if there's nothing to hide? Why? Because ever since Diddy got snatched up, Ashton and Mila been moving like ghosts. Low-key, distant, like they barely even knew the man. All of a sudden, they're acting like Diddy was just some random dude they once waved at on a red carpet. Come on now! That's the exact same move they pulled when Danny Masterson got convicted. We're talking years of tight friendship, birthday shout-outs, vacation pics, family hangouts. Gone. Deleted like it never existed. It's giving total rebrand vibes. It's giving straight-up damage control. And this ain't random. It's part of a bigger pattern. Let's not ignore Ashton and Mila's long-standing ties to Scientology. Their crew, full of members, their closest friends, Scientologists. Even some of their staff have been rumored to be connected to that network. And if you know anything about Scientology, you know they don't play. That group has a serious track record, manipulating media, scaring off reporters, and making whole headlines vanish overnight. So if you ever wondered why some stories just disappear, now you got a clue. One time, when Ashton was asked directly about Diddy's wild parties, he said, "There's a lot I can't tell." That one line sent the internet into a frenzy. People started speculating fast. Allegedly, what Ashton can't speak on includes everything from those infamous freak-offs to exploitation, to the exact type of behavior that Diddy's now facing serious heat for. And what about Thorn? Ashton's nonprofit that claims it's out here fighting child exploitation online? Sounds noble, right? But behind the curtain, folks say there's too much being kept quiet. Some documents? Redacted? Some connections? Way too convenient. People are even filing Freedom of Information Act requests trying to figure out what's really going on. That's how deep the shadows go. Out of nowhere, Ashton resigned from Thorn's board. No warning, no big press release, just poof, gone. Word is, the heat was coming, and fast. Some insiders claim he dipped right before the spotlight turned on him, because it was about to get real ugly. And speaking of ugly, let's talk about Dave Chase. Yeah, the little girl from The Ring. You remember that creepy performance? But what most people don't know is that she didn't just fade from Hollywood, she spiraled. And according to whispers behind closed doors, it all traces back to one disturbing night. The night she was allegedly invited to party with none other than Diddy and Ashton Kutcher. She was young, way too young. And ever since that night, her life's been wrecked. Arrests, substance issues, jail time, the whole downward spiral. In 2019, she caught a misdemeanor. Just 5 months before that, popped for possession. And by early 2024, back behind bars after another Hollywood arrest. From red carpets to mugshots, in under a decade. And people aren't chalking this up to bad luck. Nah, the streets are saying something happened that night. Something dark. The kind of trauma that leaves a permanent scar. The kind you don't recover from. But here's the kicker. Davy ain't the only name floating around. Because allegedly, Ashton's history with underage girls is no secret in certain circles. Word is, he was seeing Lindsay Lohan when she was just 16. And once Ashton backed off, she ended up with Wilmer Valderrama. You starting to see the pattern? Same circles, same age gaps, same group of men. And now people are connecting dots that were never meant to be connected. It's looking like this whole inner circle shared the same twisted taste. And Ashton wasn't just hanging around. He was right in the center of it. We already know Diddy's legal problems are stacked up like a game of Jenga. Lawsuits left and right. But when you start lining up the names, Ashton, Wilmer, Danny Masterson, it's giving co-conspirator crew. And we gotta talk about Wilmer Valderrama for a second because his track record, straight up disturbing. Let's rewind to Mandy Moore. She was only 15 when she met Wilmer. He was 20. Both of them tried to play it off, acting like nothing shady was going on. But years later, Mandy confirmed the relationship did happen while she was still underage. And y'all, it gets worse. In one disgusting interview with Howard Stern, Wilmer bragged about being the first guy to sleep with her. He laughed, joked, made it sound like a flex. And Mandy later said it was a lie that hurt her deeply. Then came Lindsay Lohan. She was everywhere in the early 2000s, the it girl of her time. Wilmer was 24, Lindsay was just 17. And surprise, surprise, they claimed it was just friendship. But the second she hit 18, boom, they suddenly went public as a couple. That tired midnight birthday trick again. And he didn't stop there. Fast forward to 2010, and who's he cozying up with now? A young Demi Lovato. And once again, they gave the same old story. We're just friends. Same pattern, same age gaps, same lies. This crew wasn't just powerful, they were calculated. We're just friends. He's like a brother. And then, boom, Demi Lovato turns 18, and suddenly she's Wilmer Valderrama's girlfriend. At that point, he was 29. That's a whole decade older. And just like the ones before her, Demi eventually admitted the truth, that their relationship started before she was even legal. It's not just a coincidence anymore. It's a playbook. Mandy, Lindsay, Demi, the timeline always looks off, and that just turned 18 excuse, it shows up every single time, like clockwork. Same moves, same game. Then in 2022, Demi finally let it all out the best way she knew how, through music. She dropped a track called 29, and the lyrics cut like a knife. She didn't have to say a name. Everyone knew who it was about. And in interviews, she confirmed it straight up. I feel like the song says it all, and it really, really does. But the internet? It never forgets. And when people started digging through old threads and forums, one particular comment lit up the web like a flare gun. A former bar employee claimed that Wilmer was part owner of a nightclub. And what they shared? Disturbing. Here's what they said. Wilmer Valderrama. He was part owner of a bar I worked at. Absolute garbage human being. Underage girls would come in a lot, and we were told never to ID anyone at his tables. And get this. They also named Megan Good as another investor, calling her behavior horrendous too. So now we've got former employees claiming Wilmer was running a spot where underage girls were showing up and staff was instructed not to check IDs. That's not just shady, that's dangerous. And it's all part of the same pattern. Same players, same silence, same dirt swept under the rug. That means management was in on it. That means the whole setup was designed to protect predators. This wasn't just Hollywood parties gone wrong or, oops, we didn't know her age. Nah, this was organized, calculated, and allowed to flourish in plain sight. And let's talk about Megan Good for a second. Yeah, that Megan. The one now rocking a Bible and preaching healing and wholeness. According to that same bar employee, she was also an investor. And they straight up called her horrendous. So whatever was going down in that place, the claim is Megan either looked the other way, or worse, benefited from it. Now here's where it all connects. If Wilmer owned the bar, and Ashton Kutcher was his ride or die, his business partner and wingman since that 70s show, do you really believe Ashton didn't know? Be for real. The word on the street is that bar wasn't just a hangout. It was a hunting ground. And remember, this is the same Ashton who co-founded a tech company supposedly created to protect kids from exploitation. But behind the scenes? Allegedly, he was rolling with a crew that thrived on blurring age lines and preying on vulnerable girls. Publicly, Ashton was giving speeches, winning awards, talking about saving victims. But privately, he was allegedly deep in circles where everything he claimed to fight against was going down. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the new Hollywood Rat Pack, the secrets, the silence, it becomes real clear this wasn't just some flashy boys club. And Ashton? He was dead center of it all. And if the whispers are true, Mila Kunis might finally be done playing along. Allegedly, she's had enough. And word on the street is, Mila already filed for divorce. And honestly, it makes perfect sense. Everything started shifting the moment Ashton's name got wrapped up in this whole mess with Diddy. If the rumors are true, Ashton might be out here trying to scrub his image solo. No Mila, no marriage, just him. That shady Hollywood crew, and way too many questions he still hasn't answered. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Mila really filed? Do you believe Ashton knew what was going down behind the scenes? The bar, the wild parties, the rumors about underage girls? And let's keep it all the way real. Is Ashton actually under investigation? Or is he just hiding behind that same powerful Hollywood machine that always covers for their own? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let it all out. Your theories, your receipts, whatever you've got. You already know how we get down over here. And while you're here, smash that like button, tap subscribe, and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you don't miss what's really going down in Hollywood. See you on the next one.